come out with AI, that there are going to be photographs or videos about people. And let's face it, we know once something goes on the internet, it can be there for life or longer. And if it comes up with, because you can suggest things to a photograph what you want it to do, but
Yeah.
most people, as far as I understand it, just say imagine and you press it and then it will come up with something. I mean, a crowd of us on the train the other day after football, we were sitting round on this train, and there about six of us, and then there was a bowl of kind of nuts and crisps and all the rest of it in this bowl, and we're all sitting there smiling. And then Ian, he suddenly went for the bowl, threw it everywhere, all this food flying everywhere, and you wouldn't believe that it's fake. You just would not believe it's fake. So you mentioned AI, and I think it's great. It's great fun at the moment, but it's also a bit sinister because, I mean, somebody, if let's say somebody from Network Rail
Yeah.
sees that of what Ian was doing, it was going all over the place, all the food in this bowl. Um, they could say, right, we want to know who that is. Our cleaners have to clean all that up. It's gone on the chairs, but of course, it's not true. So I'm wondering what the law may eventually have to say about this,
We don't
because
know.
people could find themselves in difficulties. They'd be
Yeah.
accused of something that is just not true. But anyway, we've gone off on a bit of a tangent. But I think AI is going to be a subject we can have a look at in the
Yeah.
near future,
Yeah.
really.
Because I was thinking about
Okay.
the. Yeah. So go on, please.
No, go on. No, what were you thinking
No,
about?
no, I was just thinking about back in the days we used to say pictures don't lie. It's well,
Yeah,
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 is that you in the picture?
absolutely.
You say yes, that's me. That's
Yeah,
it. You're
yeah,
convicted. So that was you.
absolutely.
Yeah. So we
Yeah,
we got a picture of you doing this. Now, if they could doctor it with this
yeah,
AI thing, how you gonna how especially if you was in the area, what are you gonna say?
yeah.
It's
I mean, the thing is, I suppose if you think photos have for quite a long time been able to be photoshopped, haven't they? You can put someone in a picture, take them out, change it in one way or another. But I don't know. I'm no expert on these things, but I would think you're more likely to be able to tell a photo that's been photoshopped, or an expert certainly could, than one of these AI things, because it's the person ostensibly doing what they seem to be doing, whether they're
mm.
throwing food around or running off with the FA Cup. I mean, if someone saw that, he could have a knock on the door in the morning, couldn't he? Saying, "Where's our FA Cup?" sort of thing, if someone had really stolen it.
Right, yeah,
Anyway,
that's what
so
I was gonna
that's
say. Yeah, God.
as I say, not much more time, but before we won't really get to the quiz, we'll have to roll that over to next week. But just a few did you knows,
Yeah.
things a bit interesting like that. Do you know what the first? Well, okay. Do you know who invented the telephone? Who was the man mainly credited with inventing the telephone?
Now I could be wrong on this, and I could make you
Yeah.
laugh, but I think it's something Thomas. Is his first name Thomas?
No, no. You're
Oh,
probably thinking of Thomas Edison, but he did
yeah.
the light bulb. No, the
All right.
guy who did it was Alexander Graham Bell. Now,
Oh,
interestingly,
yeah.
he was a Scot. He born in Scotland, but he became a naturalized American, I think, in the 1880s. But he actually is credited with inventing the telephone. And in his laboratory in Boston, he was with his friend, his colleague, Thomas Watson. And Watson was in another room, a part of the laboratory setup. And when he finally cracked Watson, and Watson was in another room, a part of the laboratory setup. And when he finally cracked it, Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, and picked up his handset, what were the first words he said? What do you
Hello.
think he said? Have a guess.
I think he said hello.
Well, probably, yeah. Hello. Let's check what it was. Any ideas? You probably won't know.
Well, yeah, I don't
He
know.
started by saying, please select one of the following options. No, he didn't say that at all. What he actually said, what he said was, come, Mr. Watson, he said, Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. Now, this was in another room, and
Hmm.
Dr. Watson heard it well enough on his phone to come through and to see him. So that was the first telephone call or conversation in,
Hmm.
I think, the late 1800s. So that was Alexander Graham Bell, who also, actually, when he was in America, he was the man. We might have touched on this recently when we talked about Helen Keller, but he was the man who advised her parents, Helen Keller, the blind deaf lady, blind deaf child at the time, advised the parents to take her to this particular specialized school which they did, and they met Anne Sullivan, who was the lady who eventually made the breakthrough to Helen Keller and was a friend. They were both friends throughout their lives. I mean, Anne Sullivan died first, but he was very well known in all sorts of ways. Alexander Graham
Hmm.
Bell, not least in helping Helen Keller, which was a great thing to do. A couple more things. We're getting short of time, but what is the most visited country in the world? Do you know?
Um,
On the planet,
I think
most
that would
visited country.
I think that would probably be Venice. Venice.
Well, Venice
Yeah.
in Italy. No, it's not. The most visited country on the planet is France, with 90 million visitors per annum, presumably 90 million.
Wow.
Incredible. These are
Wow.
figures in 2018. The second country, last one, second country,
Our second country will be London, England.
Spain, Spain. So there we are. So we've run out of time, but anyway, we will carry on with the music quiz sometime next week.
Yeah. Right. So you've been watching and listening to the Alien Spaceship with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me bruv.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv.
Oh, he calls me cuz.
I call you cuz,
You
not
do,
cuz
you
cuz,
do.
but I call you cuz
You do
cuz.
call me cuz. Right. So join us again next week for another interesting episode of the Alien Spaceship. So goodbye from me.
See you next week. Bye bye.